Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Good morning, Clark. Good morning, Jermaine. I know
Morning,
Devo,
morning.
Michelle, everybody out in the Antiem. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Wow.
Timber.
I don't know why we tripping, y'all.
I'm tripping.
This is Wisconsin.
Yeah, but hey, listen, I remember a point in time. It used to get cold, but I just think here recently, like with this bitter cold, like when that cold, well, not cold front, but when that front came through
The
that one year,
vortex.
oh my god! Now I think that was the beginning of all of this right here, man. Because I don't remember anything before that vortex, anything being colder. I mean, I can't remember.
I can't.
I can't.
I can't.
Really?
I remember a
I
lot of
remember
cold.
one year I tell the story, man. I'm at Parkman. I put my whole wardrobe on to go to school. It was like 12 below zero. I put everything in the closet on. That's before we had all these warm clothes.
Oh, you was puffed
Oh
up.
man, it was like puff. When my grandmother used to put me in, and I know we used to hate them, the snowsuits, the one piecers.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Y'all remember
yeah.
the one piecers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
step up and use the bathroom.
And my grandmother had me hermetically sealed in that one piecer. Dude, the only thing that was exposed was my eyes. Everything else was covered, where you put the scarf up to over your nose. Oh my God, I had a hood on. But that one piecer, man, dude, that was it was like an oven, and then you gotta get it all off. Then when it's time to go home, you got to put it all back on, and I could never put it back on like my grandmother had me wrapped.
Right.
Oh man, my grandmother had me, like I said, hermetically sealed, boy.
Well, you be walking like you stiff. When she
Yeah, man, you just
Like the Michelin man.
Michelin
you walk like
man,
Michelin man.
So that and remember the Christmas story when the kid got knocked down and he couldn't get up in the
Right.
snowsuit?
Right.
Yeah, his little brother. So no, that was real, man. And then I got to the point I was too cool for it. But then it'd be some days like man, I wish I had that one piece of the day, man, because the Hawk ain't playing,
I
boy.
know.
Oh man, the Hawk. But anyway,
But that's why I always say, Keith, I like when the snow because it's warmer.
Yep.
I rather take snow than it's cold today.
Yeah,
until
yeah.
you have to move it.
Yeah.
Until you have to move it.
That's the only thing.
I set up and I got the soreness. Now the snow wasn't heavy. I was just using muscles I hadn't used.
Yeah, it was just
So
a
you get
repetition.
sore, man. But then I'm such a man. I always say we walk in contradictions, right?
Yeah.
But I'm such a perfectionist that I'm out there getting this little piece of snow. Oh, is that showing up over there? Let me go over there again. So that's my sickness, man. I was telling Jermaine, talking about when I cook as I clean. I clean as I cook.
Yeah.
Because my mental illness requires order. Everything has a place, man. I got a system, dude.
Yeah.
I got a system, man. But
Especially if it works for you.
oh man, but is that obsessive compulsive behavior?
No, that's just you don't want to end up with a messy kitchen. So trust me, when I be candy, my wife be like,
I said, no.
man, why don't you just? I said, babe, I ain't got time. You wash the dishes. So,
Yeah, because then when you done cooking
yeah,
and you sit down and eat, and then you look around like, oh, I'm full, and I got all this stuff I got to do.
yeah.
When you
Yeah.
could just knock it out as you go
Knock it out as you
along the way, because then after you sit down and eat, all you got to do now is clean your plate.
See, my challenge is because we have a plethora of pots.
Yes, me
and
plethora.
skillets. I'm trying to figure out how I can use the least
least
number of skillets
It's
or
hard.
pots,
It's
because
hard.
that will minimize the amount of cleaning that I have to do. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hold on just a minute. Clark, there's the word plethora. All right, go. Love. What's happening, man?
The most educated show in the morning.
Right.
I was calling to make a couple of comments about the weather, man. I remember when we used to have to go to school, my father would line me and my brothers up, and when it was below zero, he would put that Cornhuskers lotion on our face
Oh yeah.
so we wouldn't suffer from frostbite, man.
Be
He wrapped
shining.
those stabs around it, and we'd be the
Look at that.
shiniest thing walking to school. These kids today, they soft as cotton. They don't know nothing about no cold weather.
Yeah, put that on your face.
And
Look
let,
like
me,
a
let me
glazed
say this
donut.
because I always hear old school say this. Don't you wish that you had the luxuries that the kids had today?
Man.
I most certainly do, but I don't think I would trade any of that.
So we just be hating on them, right? They just so soft. I wish I could be soft like that. None of us want to be hard.
Yeah, but look at when I say soft. Look how they dress when they come outside. They ain't even got no coats, man.
Hey, but wait a minute. That ain't just them though. Cause when I was a teenager, it was the minimum amount of coats, right? Like I wouldn't put a hat on my afro, so when it snowed, my hair would at least be frozen.
Yeah, the member only
Yeah.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Members
I
only.
agree with you. But look at what it made you do, though. It made you understand the significance now of being. You appreciate your mother putting you in that onesie. You know, you appreciate the fact that you can tell somebody.
Yeah.
You know, now they don't have that kind of barrier to do.
And I ain't mad at them. I ain't mad at them that they had to walk a mile to school in the snow. I ain't mad at them for not having to do it because I didn't want to do it.
Well, we did it.
Had to.
You know,
Necessity, man.
my point exactly what I'm trying to make. Whoever heard of such a thing as a snow day? When we was going to school, nobody. School was in.
Well, now snow days we got if it was a lot of snow, but cold days, wind chill days, we never had.
Yeah, we should.
I went to school one year. I can tell you, 14 below zero. I
Yeah.
walked to school that day.
Yeah.
My mother gave me bus fare, but I walked to school.
And I think
I know what you did that bus.
And I think too, man,
wanted to do with that much.
and I think too, they used to punish us too, because then they used to send us outside for recess. You go outside and it's freezing cold outside, and then send you outside.
They still do it.
for recess.
Yeah.
Why would you punish the kids like that?
I don't know if it's a punishment so much.
Oh, it's a
as
punishment.
So the teachers would go to teachers'
Yeah,
lounge.
they
and
go to
smoke.
teachers like that. That's exactly what they was doing back then. They was going to the teachers' lounge.
teachers'
and
lounge.
smoke.
They had to be outside with us when we went outside. So, you know, they had to be on the playground. So if it's too cold for them, we didn't do recess.
No, but not every teacher was out there for
Exactly,
recess.
right.
So there was the other ones up in there. They blowing it up in the teachers' lounge. You know, I didn't know nothing about the teachers' lounge until Bradley Carr. And Bradley Carr, because we'd always, it's like one of those things you walk past, and you go like, ooh, the teachers' lounge. Dude, I went into the teachers' lounge at Oliver Wendell Homes. They had a soda machine.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
They had
yeah,
everything in it. As soon as you walk past the door,
and
you
it
smell smoke.
smell smoke.
You smell smoke all coming through the door. It was like a chimney.
Are they smoking in there?
Well, you know, one thing I do want to say, man, it is going to be dangerously cold tomorrow.
Yeah.
I do. Hopefully, the kids won't have to be outside.
No, they
But I'm just
canceled
telling you
school.
about the era I grew up in.
They
I'm a
canceled school.
champion, you know.
They
Well, they
canceled school.
should've.
Yeah.
They should have.
So wait, I have a question for you. Should they cancel work?
If ain't no school, I think they should cancel work.
Hey man, I'm with you, man.
If it's too cold for the kids to go to school,
It's too cold for the
it's
adults.
too cold for you to get out to try to go to work.
Yeah,
Anything can happen.
I totally
know?
agree. The car can break down. You get a flat tire, and how you
Man,
gonna
you
change?
done.
I had a supervisor one year. It was a bad snowstorm. I was on the bus. I don't know how I got from Marshall to we were on National then. So my boss calls to see who's there, right? And so they go, such and such is here. And she said, Keith is here. My boss, Eva Davis at the time, said, put him on the phone. She said, let me get this straight. One of the worst snowstorms in the history of Milwaukee, you get to work, but you can't get to work on the 75-degree day.
Oh, that's the lakefront was
The lake cracker,
Man, I was like an adventurer, man. You know, I was out there in it, and I was on the bus. But I got there. Well, part of why I had to get there was I didn't have no sick time.
right.
So I couldn't now, once they go in and declare it a snow emergency, you get paid for that day. But I couldn't take the chance staying at the crib and they expected us to be there because the one thing you didn't want to ever happen at the county was showing that you had no time to cover time. That woo, you know. All right, man.
All right, man. Take care.
I
Y'all have a good
appreciate
day.
you, man.
Stay
Caller,
warm.
welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, you remember that year that we had that bad snowstorm where you would have to get out of your car, walk to the corner, and look to see if any traffic coming, then run, jump in your car.
Oh, because of how high the snow was.
Was that
Yeah.
78, 79?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I got out of Milwaukee just in time. I flew back to school. It's called J term. It's like because at the Mount, right now, the Mount, they just get back. They don't go back to school till this week.
Really?
So they had one of the longest yet. So it'd be like a summer school. So I just got back east before the storm hit. I came back in March, you know, where over there on 27th and North,
Yeah.
that was the Park West.
Golden City.
They had snow mounds.
Yeah.
They looked like the
Yep.
mountains. It was so much
Yeah.
snow.
Yep.
That snow didn't melt till like June.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
how much snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of snow.
We used to build caves in those mountains. You know?
Yeah, there was a lot of snow, man.
Wow.
That was the worst I ever seen it.
Yeah, I'd never seen that much snow. Now I do remember though the Super Bowl snowstorm. The year we had the Super Bowl snowstorm.
The Snooper Bowl?
The Super Bowl.
The Snooper Bowl.
He's performed no.
Nah.
So I remember do remember that year, and thank God for Cameron. Man, Cameron got out there. Cameron was like a man. He was throwing snow. Cameron had to be about 17. Oh man, nothing but energy. And you know, it's funny because when the brothers was talking about, you know, being how we make the kids soft, I sit up think like, oh man, do you need the rest? He's 18. No, he don't need the rest. Oh man.
Right.
So you hear 18-year-olds saying they tired. What did you do?
Not go to bed early.
No,
I did
we on
receive
that
some
game.
text messages. Man, they had a snow day post-COVID where the damn snow melted at the same time on the snow day. That happened to me in Nashville. Because Nashville ain't prepared for snow. And so it snowed, man. It must have been about what we got the
Yeah,
other day.
It was like dust.
Yeah. And then it got them. So I'm on campus that we canceled class. It was 60 by that afternoon.
Oh yeah.
It had melted. So
Remember that one year? And what year was that? In May. I remember because I was in the motorcycle club and we was all up at the bar Twisters. It started snowing, and we like, oh man, they gonna pass. That snow started coming down.
I can believe
Man,
it.
we jumped on our motorcycle, went home, man. Around about 6 o'clock that evening,
It was
the snow
warm.
was gone.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
day.
someone asked, have you, the fellas, or any of your listeners had to maintain a manual coal fire furnace as a source of heat during the winter? My grandmother had one when she was on First and Right.
No, I used to live in this house that you had to call the heater. You know, they'll come and bring the oil.
The oil, yeah.
When I tell you, I don't know why people still have houses like that. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
over in what's that, 51st Street?
Sherman Park area.
Yeah, that Sherman Park
Yeah.
area. Because when we were looking to buy a house,
Yeah.
one of the issues was that they said, well, you know, they still have the fuel storage in the
Yeah.
front lawn.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we don't need to do that.
Yeah. So like even changing it over from that to it's a lot.
Yeah,
But-
my grandmother sat down, man, and whoa, it was like talk about a furnace. It wasn't just in the basement.
Stop.
But she had this closet. That closet was like an ice box, man.
Man.
Because it'd be on the outside. You
Yeah.
had to go in and get a coat. It was so
You
cold up
shiver,
in that
yeah.
closet.
You
But
gotta
the
have
rest of the
some
house,
shoes
man, it's like a sauna. Yeah. You got callers or I'm just me? No, ain't nobody call. Just me. God, there was a couple of things. I have a professional responsibility to watch the president. You cannot talk about what you don't know about.
Yeah.
This dude, but I heard one of the commentators say this. He said, well, you have a president who's never read a book. And his point was, had you done any history, you will know, or you would know, and I'm sure your people told you that there was a treaty signed in 1951 basically giving the United States full access to Greenland.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, and also just kind of not, and I won't go into it because I thought it was just great conversation yesterday. There was an article in the New York Times this morning about that church in St. Paul. It is a Southern Baptist church.
Mm.
Um, and so there was the whole debate about how far should you go with protest and whether or not we should protest in a sacred space, and that was my whole discussion yesterday. I had come to a conclusion. I'd like to see that exempt. Kwaku had caught me as I was getting off the air. I didn't get a chance to read his comments yesterday, but I was saying that word sanctuary,
Mm.
being sanctified, which means set aside, and that we should respect sacred spaces, um, regardless of what the sect or the religion might be. I think that we should. I think it ends there. We should stop there. That was the conclusion I had. I understand, but that doesn't mean. And they were saying that the problem that um, certain evangelicals are having is this thing Matthew 25, where Jesus talks about how we should clothe the naked, feed the hungry, shelter the unhoused, visit those folks who are incarcerated, visit those folks who are sick, and obviously provide care for the stranger. Um, we should be if we're not, we should be very concerned about what we're seeing happening in the streets. Now, I have not seen where the government has been so explicit going after a group of people probably since civil rights, COINTELPRO, all the things they did to destabilize the peace movement, the civil rights movement, the gay liberation movement in this country. Anything where marginalized people will try to move themselves to a point of full humanity. Someone just said, check out the snowstorm of 1947. My mother talks about that snowstorm. She would have been 1934. So my mom would have been like 13, but I remember her talking about that. And it was one of the few times I think the city buses stopped running. There was another time, I think in 83, 84, where it was because there was diesel fuel and the fuel was freezing up in the fuel lines that they had stopped bus service. That's the one thing about the transit company, man. They go. I mean, they're out there regardless of how bad the weather is. But I think also we're getting old, man. You deal with cold differently than you do when you're young. So yeah. All right. You got a caller? Mm. Caller, welcome to
Good
the
morning.
program.
Good
Good.
morning, and thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I listened to Trump a little bit, but I just couldn't stomach it too long. It was just too much. And I'm wondering, what are we as the people doing? And you know something, when he said that the whites have been so mistreated in the university scene because of diversity. Name a university that had so many black people there that a white couldn't get in. If
Howard?
they didn't get in, it was because their grade point average didn't merit it. And when affirmative action didn't get the lowest of the affirmative action, it got the cream of the crop. And any of those white students that attend those universities know that Trump is lying. But to say this, we had better start working together. And I'm just so puzzled why we still have people calling in trying to defend what Trump is doing. What do you gain by confusing people that are already confused? Help them out.
Do you think that people? I don't think that. I don't. Because I get pushback from letting Meach speak. I don't think that people. I'm gonna use a word malleable. I don't think people are that susceptible that he's gonna call in and he's moving the needle.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
That's
and if
true.
that is the case, that's on them. I mean,
That's
I
true.
think that if you're an adult, and so we're in the marketplace of ideas, and it's up to
Right.
us to build
And
filters in
everybody
terms.
is selling some everything. And we have to teach our children. You know, our reach is not that far. It's to our family members, our grandchildren, our nieces, nephews, cousins. Let's reach them to be critical thinkers. You have friends in your family. I was watching this Faith channel, and the father and the mother encouraged their young son, who is brilliant, do not read that Bible. It's confusing, and it will get you in trouble. I said, wow. But further watching the picture, that young son brought it all to term. It was excellent. And I think we should spend time making sure our kids are watching good stuff on television. And while they out of school on Friday, they should be doing something. I did go over to the Historical Society for Martin Luther King. It was excellent. And it wasn't just all black there. It was sprinkling of some white, sprinkling of some Indian people. And everybody was probably popcorn and trying to make a lot of different scenes. But I stayed at the one place. I am so proud of my race. I'm so glad God chose me to wear this badge of black. And I'm going to represent it to the day I die. Because I know we have some brilliant people. They need to get focused. They need to stop thinking life is a party. Because they're going to, if they don't wake up, they're going to be taken back where our ancestors have fought to come forward. And we can't let that happen. Have a great day.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Oh, wait. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going, my brother?
All right.
Hey, did you see Russia had 7 feet of snow other day?
Had what?
Russia.
They did what?
7 feet of snow.
7
feet of snow yesterday.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, look that up. That's for real.
Yeah, I think we can complain about the weather here, but be in Buffalo.
What they get?
Oh man, they can get like 2-3 feet of snow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on the wrong side of the lake.
Yeah, they get hit hard all the time.
Yeah,
all the time, man.
You know, and look, no matter where you go, there's gonna be weather, right? I mean, if you go to the most ideal, like say San Diego is supposed to have like the ideal temperature year round.
80, 83, 83.
Yeah, but then they're on an
85.
earthquake fault. So, you know, none of us are exempt from the environment. You know, you just make means. When we were talking, we're better suited to deal with the cold now. Like most cars are going to start now. But I can remember, man, back in the 80s.
But that saw gonna eat that plastic up faster though.
But that's the other thing about, just talk about that. You know, do you see cars with rust? No.
Yeah, but they can't take a slight bump though from a slide in the ice though.
That's true.
You slide that car, you can forget it. You can forget it. Because that car is made out of plastic and it's gonna cost you. Back in the day, you slid into something, you bump into it, you be like, "Yep, that's a Chevy. It's gonna keep on going."
Mm-hmm.
Or
but also back in the day, if you got in a head-on collision, that engine would come right up into the cabinet of the car. You don't get that now, right? The engines they design cars where the engine drops, right, as opposed to coming back, and then you got airbags, seat belts. I mean, it's in terms of
the thing with people who, when they got trucks, they think they can drive in it, just zoom through it. Man, once you hit that patch, I don't care what kind of truck you got.
Oh,
you sliding, Trav. You
And that's the
slide.
thing about, some of the trucks, they're rear wheel drive, right?
Yep.
So,
Or they
like,
four wheel.
yeah, you get stuck in the snow. Man, I had a car though, dude. I had to travel with a shovel because it was so low. Like
Oh
4 inches
man,
of snow, I get
you ain't
stuck.
got no you ain't got no business driving no Camaro and no and in the
Yeah, that's funny you
wintertime.
said that, bro, because I saw this dude in the vet. It was snowing. Like, dude, do you have vets out in January?
That's his only car. He
Oh,
forgot to take
okay.
his car, yeah.
Because I kept thinking, like, you don't be driving vets in January.
Kid, that's his only car, kid. He didn't think that through. He didn't. He spent all his money in one. He put all his money in one bag on low profile tires.
I got a vet. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's going to crack because it's going to get below zero.
Wait, listen, and the roof is leaking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's convertible. It's convertible. Yeah, that's not unusual. Is I the only one? If you see a vet in the wintertime and you're not in Florida?
No, but listen, I had a Chrysler Sebring. So
Man, that's low to the ground too. You ain't got
exactly.
No
So
that either.
wait, listen. So I got two stories with that. One in the winter and one in the summer. The winter
you talking about the rain when what are your TVs up, right?
Yeah, dude. When I was on the freeway and I was driving and I was on my way to church, I'm in a suit. I had the TVs in. I had the roof down.
that car is bad luck.
I'm driving on the freeway.
The scene, in the gangster league.
A storm cloud come in. A storm cloud come. Now, with that type of car, you got to pull over and then raise up the top. So you can't drive and hit the button.
There's a reason for that.
Doc, when I tell you, that rain was coming down so fast and hard, I'm in a suit. My TV started shorting out. So I had to pull over the middle of the freeway and raise the top coming up slow. I'm getting rained on. Long story short, I don't think I made it to church that day because I was wet as a fool. And then driving in the wintertime, man, it was low to the ground, man. I mean, you getting stuck. And the ceiling will leak because of the roof. So
you ain't got no. You put all yours in the one bag too, driving that car.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, bro.
Look at Big Sex in his Sebrings in the wintertime.
Man, I can sit up and tell you some of the things I did for vanity, and later on regretted that I did it for vanity. Like, oh man,
but Keith, though, I'm gonna tell you this though. But the snow or the cold never stopped you from going out without a coat on because you was too cute.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, we did.
Man, because I remember me and my buddies, we drove down to DC. It was 20-something. We didn't have coats. We just had a little suit jackets on. No, man, but you know what? You dashing
because the first thing, and more you're liable to get your coat taken because of the coat check. So you don't want to put your coat in coat check. They was taking coats.
Oh, thank you for that, brother. I appreciate it. Let me say this. You are trifling if you stealing coats at churches. You know you didn't wear that fur coat to church.
Yeah. And they sure would.
You trifling.
They sure would.
Oh yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah. They sure would. In church.
Oh man.
Oh, you trifling, man.
Oh man, you trifling, man. And first of all, you ain't got nowhere to store it at.
Right. And you didn't come up here with a fur coat on. You up here walking like you Goldie.
You didn't came in here with a windbreaker on.
So you're going to leave your hamster.
A light blue windbreaker at that.
Right.
Light blue. Made all kind of noise when you came in there.
Swishing and carrying on.
You leave with a fur coat. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Hey, what was her name? Miss Abel.
Yeah, you got to. Y'all listening to Community Voice. Appreciate you, man. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, and that's why I won't buy Rhonda a fur coat because I'm so worried about someone stealing it at church.
I wish they would.
Caller, welcome to the
It's gonna be some furniture moving around. That'll be the day me and Jesus did the same thing. So House of Thieves or Den of Thieves or whatever. So somebody getting flipped over.
What's happening?
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call. Assalamu alaikum to you, brothers. Yes, sir, Mr. Parris. Brother Ride Out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Speaking about things being stolen, not at church. Well, I never had that. That's horrible. But when I was in high school, I let this girl like share my locker with me. And like I had a leather jacket, like a bomber, and it had black rabbit fur or whatever. And we had a situation. Something was going on at school. I think we had to go to the auditorium or the gym. This happened at Vincent High School. And if she's still around, she know what I'm talking about. But she because I gave her my combination, and when I came back, my $300 jacket was gone. I was like, oh, I knew who stole it.
Why'd you give it a combination?
Because I thought we was cool, bro.
She's a woman.
You know what I mean?
It takes a fool
I ain't getting no dude, my
to learn that love don't love nobody.
Right. And then this is what I want to say. I was stupid, right? I was cold and it was the winter time. Yeah. And then here's another thing about when I was out there at Vincent, before they started letting the bus go all the way out to Granville Road, we had to walk from Good Hope and Calumet or New Road. We had to walk 1,000 miles to get to that school. Yeah, and walk through with no snow shovel.
Yep.
Wasn't nothing. It was you had to walk with the traffic. And look back and make sure you didn't get hit. Your mama said you got to get up and get out, and she made sure you was at school because then people call your house.
Well, the cool thing was you had people who walked with you.
I was walking through the blizzards.
Oh, you didn't have a crew?
No.
Oh man, I ain't had no crew until I got to school. I don't know how they got to school, but I'd
be so crazy, man. Like I'd be hanging out. I take the bus downtown just to hang out with my buddies, and then get the bus back up this way. So
they fought downtown at the mall all the time. I think it was like 3 schools. I knew it was Tech, and all them schools that rode on the city bus. Because the only time you had to ride the city bus if you went to Vincent is if you missed your bus. We was on the cheese laughing at them. They was freezing, and then they'd be fighting in the wintertime. But this is one thing I wanted to say before I go about us as a people. If we look at the thing about the story of Willie Lynch and either his theory, and if we take a close look at ourselves and see if we are not acting out these things that he said he could instill in the minds of us as chattel slaves that accentuate our differences and heighten those things and make those things vices and make those things utilize those things as weapons with regard to our appearance, our complexions, our hair, our noses, our lips, our eyes, and you in the field, he's in the house, and for the most part, we as a people are still on the plantation. How about that? Big show.
I'm trying to figure out why he get a girl.
His locker combination.
Well, man, you know how that is.
I never gave a random girl that I wasn't rocking with my combination.
Notice the how he puts that he wasn't rocking with.
Yeah.
What about the ones you were rocking with?
Oh, the ones I was rocking knew what time it was. The ones I was rocking with knew what time it was. So, you know, yeah.
I said locker with
they
about
knew.
3 other guys.
Nah, not me.
You know what was the most, speaking of lockers, was the most frightening thing for me when I got to middle school? Having to remember my combination to the locker.
Everybody problem.
And Parkman was new, so the way it worked was I think there was 3 combinations assigned to the locker. So this year you'd have this combination. Next year you have this combination. Year after that you'd have that combination. So it would be the 3 years that you were there. You know, so and you might not have the same locker, but I'm just saying. Right. But man, and then I always got confused about turning past left, zero. Zero. You know, left, man, right, it was just man, it was so traumatic for me. Yeah. It must have took me almost a month. And then, you know, they said don't write it down because you might lose it. Yeah, man. I used to boy, those were their days. But I used to really love freshman kill day. Because freshman kill day, when we was a freshman coming into the school, it was the freshmen and sophomores against the juniors and seniors. So the year I came into the school, like 90, boy, they tried that freshman kill day with us because when they was putting all of the freshmen in lockers. Boy, they tried it with us. When I tell you we was whooping the juniors and seniors all through the school. You know, it was based on school days. Was it? Remember, no. Days and confused. Days and confused. Okay. Remember, because at the end of the year, they go after the freshmen. Yeah, they go after the freshmen. Yeah. And boy, when I tell you they tried it, and it was crazy because the school knew about it, so it was on the calendar like this was freshman kill day. So they was trying to stop it, but they couldn't stop it. So every year it was on a certain day, and they would put out warnings that if you guys tried, you're gonna get suspended. Man, they wasn't listening, or I wasn't listening. Because they tried it, and boy, it was to the point we whooped them. Then that following year, the juniors and seniors had us as the sophomores, so we was jumping on the freshmen. So it was fun, man. I was telling my godson, he was little, like, dude, guess what? You get through it now, they killing you. But you'll be a sophomore next year. You get a chance, right? Yeah. That's why it's so hard for sororities and fraternities to give up hazing because they were hazed, right? I'm not a Greek. I'm not a member, but I just know when you talk to people I talk to, you know, one of the things was, man, shoot, I went through it. Yeah. You know, I mean, and that's how people feel like.
I mean, if they gonna go through it, they want to do it, but just don't do it how you will. I don't know, because I never been hazed, so I can't say that.
Yeah, doctor, we did some hazing.
Well, you know, as close as I got to that was as when we took the team bus, and you were on JV, because freshmen had their own bus because they got there so early. But JV rode with varsity. Yeah, JV rode with varsity. So we'd have to double up. Oh, yeah. You know, like the varsity, and then, you know, they get their own seats. You know, they'd be seats by themselves. We double up, tripled up. Yeah. You know, because that, which, you know, I don't have a problem with. I don't think you should be able to walk in and be where senior is when you're a freshman. Yeah. Caller, welcome. Yeah. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, what's up, brothers? How y'all doing?
Good. What's happening?
Hey, I worked at Riverside about 8 years ago, and this football team came off the bus, I guess, to fight the football team for Riverside. And I don't care what nobody say, man. That principal let them football players get out there, and man, for about good 20 minutes, and man, them cats whooped them cats' butts, and then they broke it all up. But I don't care what nobody say. That principal set that up.
I hear some history here. So Riverside University High School actually won a school fight?
The bus came. This bus of kids came to fight the kids at Riverside, and the principal let them football players out in the front door.
Okay,
and they got it in.
So who won the fight?
The Riverside kids.
Wow.
And that was around the time when they had that one college guy who was a real big linebacker, big white boy.
Okay.
He was real big. Oh, he never made it to the NFL, but he was real popular.
Okay.
But man, they got busy, man. And I was like, that principal set that up because before all the teachers came out, they was fighting for a minute. All right, brothers, peace.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Riverside won a fight.
Well, hold on, now you can't.
Wait a minute, that's like Dominican won a fight. No disrespect, because I know I have a lot of former Tigers who are listening. Riverside won a fight.
Keith, you were for what? Off of what's that? Hubbard Palmer over there.
Yeah, I was over there for a year, Palmer Center.
So all them over there that went to Riverside, yeah, they, hey,
Yep.
hey. So yeah.
Yeah, my uncle, man, Riverside won a fight. Wow. Dude, go figure.
Hey, well, you know what?
You think about fighting schools, you never put it up there. Like South, you put up there, North, you put up there. King, prior to them becoming a baccalaureate school, you put up there.
Yeah.
That's like saying Golden by Year won a school fight. Golden by Year. Yeah, that's where all the tough kids go. Golden by Year. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was up in Golden. Oh, okay. Y'all rumbled every day, huh? The smart kids, right? Now that was always the joke, depending on what school. We might have lost the game, but we won the fight. Yeah, okay. Caller, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Angela.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
That's good. Hi, Kent.
He stepped away.
Oh, okay. So, Keith, what is your topic of speaking on today? Just about anything that just comes to mind?
Yeah, because I'm still tripping on Riverside winning a school fight. What's happening?
Why?
It's Riverside, man.
So?
Okay.
King is king.
Yeah, King had a different pedigree.
And so,
King in North, King in North, and Pulaski in South is the reason why we stopped doing night football games for many years, because we knew when they played, it was going to be a fight after that game.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about West Division?
West Division was kind of, if I would have known about West Division, I would have went there, because West Division was really diverse. West Division didn't have issues with anybody. They were like mellow. They were just,
Because we was the bomb.
I just, like I said, it was a very diverse school, multi-ethnic. That's the thing that I really liked about West back in the day. But I mean, West never had beef with anybody. North and King definitely had beef. North and Lincoln had beefs. Like I said, Pulaski and South, they had to beat Tech and any other school on the South side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I went to West Division, and every time I go past it with my children, I would reminisce on how we used to have the little dances in the cafeteria, and we have 4th and 5th hour lunch. I was at both of them. When I'm supposed to be in class, but me. I had to hang out with the seniors.
All right, appreciate I had friends, family. I'm just saying, man. And I'm not saying they didn't have tough kids there, but I'm just the same schools. You just don't put down like they fight, right? And I will put West up there. West was another school. Like I said, West was cool with everybody.
West gonna pull up and have a dance competition. They gonna pull up. Take that.
Right out. Don't do me. Don't do the school I went to now.
They gonna pull up.
Don't get on my bad side right now.
Wait,
you don't want to get on that side.
Sing your best singer out. Right. We gonna have a sing off. Sing your best singer.
Some good people come from West Division.
Isn't that the alma mater? Hold on, wait a minute, because this would have been a problem. Isn't that the alma mater of Bishop Darrell Hines? Bishop Darrell Hines went to West Division, so they would have sent him out. I don't know who Riverside would have sent out. Like if they had a sing off between him.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, you guys have a good day.
You too. We can't throw those bows, but I bet you we'll sing you under the table. Well, Carl Strong, one of my favorite comedians, he said he was talking to me one day, and he go, "Yeah, that's right, Parris. You went to Parkman, didn't you?" I go, "Yeah, man." He said, "Yeah, because you went to Parkman to be a militant, and you went to Fulton to be an entertainer." When I sort of thought about it, like, oh, they had some talent down at Fulton. I'm not saying we didn't have it at Parkman. I'm just saying, man, but. And their male drill team, the Brothers Precision, those brothers was cold. Look, I'm black and gold. I'm black and gold, but let me tell you, the red and blue. Oh man!
Hey, the drill team. You know what? I wish that someday we could have just still kept going, man. That'd have been like a national competition.
Oh man, the drill team.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
man.
Especially like when they came up, Mr. Golden and Mr. Allen at Parker, Mr. Golden at Fulton decided to do the male drill teams. Oh man, the Brothers Precision team.
Yeah,
those brothers was cold, man.
And
I went to Parkman. I'm just gonna say it. Now Parkman was different. We had the Panther, the Black Panther, what we call the Panther Vanguards. Those brothers marched with rifles. We was down for the revolution. It never came though. Caller, welcome to the program. We still waiting. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, you was right there with the revolution because I was too, brother.
As I'm wearing my combat boots today. That's right, my sister.
Well, now look at here. I'm from the Mount High City, from Denver, Colorado, home of the Broncos. Let me put that out there first. Now, I was at East High School in Denver, trying to do my little shorthand and through. When these brothers come to the classroom, beating up every white person that they can. I went to the other classroom. I didn't stay around to see what happened. What had happened, and when I found out that in ROTC, which you all know, I don't know if everybody knows what ROTC is, one of the young men accidentally around his colleague or students, which were white, accidentally let the flag touch the ground. So they beat him up. The wrong thing to do. When word got out, everyone student that they could went around beating up all the white students the whole day in that school and the teachers.
Okay.
And
that was in Denver?
This was in Denver at East High School, one school.
Okay. Do you know where did
Pam Grid?
Where did Philip Bailey go to high school? Do you remember? And because he went to East.
A lot of the Earth, Wind and Fire, Pam Grid, they all.
Yeah, Larry Dunn. I think Andrew Woolfolk.
Yes,
yeah, they're from Denver. All right, let me get this last caller because I have a guest. I appreciate you. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Hello?
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 Hello? You see how you hit the button? He was like, forget this. We'll do it live. You listen to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I was telling Jermaine off the air, man, I made some hamburger helper the other day. It was the bomb, dude.
I'm telling you.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Make a great meal.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I heard you guys talking about the militant deal and the revolutionary thing.
We weren't
What
talking
has
about the
happened?
revolution, man.
Huh?
We weren't talking about the revolution.
No, when you talking about Parliament and how militant you guys were.
Yeah, we'd like to think that we were. What do we call ourselves? Afrocentric, black affirming.
Yeah, I tell you.
I didn't even know. I was 12.
This right here. I tell you. This is what I want you to know, that the militant side of the whole protest deal that was going on in the 60s and the 70s, it didn't go away. What it did is it morphed and made it itself with protests. That's the reason why you see the protesters with militant attitudes. That's the reason why you see people running their mouth, talking big and bad. During protests, they're using the militant tactic. But when I go back and I analyze history, I see nowhere that, and guess what? Militant, you know, is a good thing to encourage. But at the same time, it has got no laws changed for black people in this country. It is
That's not true.
Well, give me one.
The Civil Rights Act. The Voting
That
Rights
wasn't
Act.
a militant
Yeah, it
movement.
was.
That was.
You don't think that people considered, now you can use militant very as a pejorative term.
We're not talking about armed militant.
No. What I'm saying is that there were people who considered Dr. King militant because he took a direct action.
Okay.
So it was a direct action.
When we talking about
Now,
when we
if you
talking
wanna
about
talk
when we
about-
talking about march, when we talking about junior teams with rifles and the play rifles and all that and doing your thing, that's a stance of arms revolution, brother. And that's where Jeff Ford came from, Chicago, and they wanted arms revolution, but Groppy them wouldn't go for it.
After they had terrorized the South Side, and now that they would come in and turn themselves into this consciousness group. I'm just saying they were gang members.
Well, they wanted arms revolution. See, first of all, let me tell you something about Father Groppy. Father Groppy denied the king coming here. And I tell you something else. That Vincent Claiborne, don't ever get me started with
Wait a minute. That is not true. That is not true. Not true. Father Groppy.
Man, you're sitting here talking to me, and you can say what you want to say, but guess what?
Bitch, you weren't even born, dude.
Huh?
You weren't even born then.
Yeah, I wasn't born.
Okay, all right.
A lot of people that
I'm telling you that Dr. King had.
No. They was closer to the whole movement.
If you look at the tapes from the continuation of the Selma to Montgomery march, you will see James Groppy in the front row, second row. He's in the second row in that march.
Let me explain something to you. King wanted to come here, and Groppy told him, we got it figured out here. We don't need you.
Okay.
Let me explain something to you.
Okay.
Now, a lot of the old lions is dead. Okay, the patriarchs and the matriarchs is dead, but they left a curb.
Where you going with this, man?
Hey, man, look here. They left a curb in the bushes, man. And I'm roaring, brother.
All right.
And what you talking about right now
Yes,
is
sir.
you so far from it that I just had to call you and let you know that it has made it. And this is the reason why we got these two.
So you consider yourself
Malcolm X was considered a militant.
You consider yourself militant?
It's sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I am. Yeah, sometimes I am. But listen, what happened is that when you talk about militant, that's why you got everybody on the internet, everybody talking tough like they're going to do something, man. See, this is what happened with Mike McGee. When Mike McGee said in 1995, if y'all don't do something, we going to show out. Okay? This stimulated your Million Man March. It stimulated a lot of things because 95 came
and he was slighted by people that he thought he could trust. Okay?
All right, man.
He
Appreciate
was
it.
slighted, especially.
Got another caller?
No. Or
Well, because
maybe I should call in and then you
Huh?
can talk. Hold on, I'm finna call in so you can talk to me. Well, no, I guess I won't.
All right. Oh, yeah, good morning. How are you?
I am great.
Hey, man, how are you? Happy New Year. Hi, good to see you again. Have a seat.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow.
Yeah, live on the air. Let's just do it live.
How's everybody this morning?
Oh, pretty good. Staying warm.
Mayor Cavalier Johnson helped build a better city. I do have a question for you. So, once we get finished with this, we'll be able to. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And man, it is, we're honored to be joined in the studio by the Honorable Mayor Cavalier Johnson, City of Milwaukee, and Miss Latina Brooks, the development director for United Negro College Fund. Welcome back, both of you all.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
You
Wonderful
all here
to
to
have
talk about this wonderful event. Isn't that ironic? Did you think about this when the Atlanta event happened and people didn't talk about all the money you raised in Atlanta? They talked about a dress. Because that was a UNCF function, right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
So talk about the mayor's masquerade.
Yeah, so let me just first say that I'm super excited about this. This has become really like the hottest ticket in town. It really, really has over the years, especially in the winter months here. I'm proud to have been involved with the Milwaukee Mayor's Mass Ball in partnership with the United Negro College Fund, really since its inception, when I was merely a staff in the mayor's office. And now I get the opportunity and the privilege really to host this really, really incredible event that is working to make sure that young people in Milwaukee get the scholarship support that they need as they head off to college. Many of them going to historically Black colleges and universities, but some of them not going to historically Black colleges and universities. We support them nonetheless. Over the years, we've been able to raise through the Mayor's Mass Ball over $1.5 million to support Milwaukee students who are going off to college. And I think that's really great. And the UNCF itself has a stellar 80-year history of supporting young people going to college in the United States. Over $500,000, $5 billion raised to support kids going to college. So we're making our mark here in Milwaukee, joining cities like Atlanta that are doing great jobs sending kids to college.
How long have we been doing this?
This will be the 11th year in Milwaukee. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nationwide? Is it,
So nationwide, different markets actually do have different kinds of appeals. All markets that we're in 25 different area offices across the country, but all of them don't necessarily have mayor's mass balls. They may have galas, they may have other luncheons and initiatives. Some of them even focused on other leaders in those markets, but all of them don't have the wonderful privilege of having the support of the mayors from their cities. So we're super excited that we have support here in Milwaukee.
And see, one of the little facts I did not know until the mayor had mentioned that the money raised here goes for scholarships for students here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it would, but that's. So do students need to attend a HBCU in order to be eligible for scholarships from United Negro College Fund?
No, scholarships are not necessarily specific to an HBCU. All scholarships have criteria. UNCF offers 400 different scholarships throughout the calendar year. So we want to encourage people to continue to have young folks to go throughout the calendar year for the support that they need. A lot of the monies that we raise goes towards this huge unrestricted pot that opens up a lot of doors. And it doesn't have as many restrictions, meaning if you were going into a specific trail or a specific educational program or even to specific schools. But many of the scholarships that I see are actually open for all, and you get an opportunity to receive the scholarship whether you go to an HBCU or any other of the 1,200 colleges and universities that we have across the country. So absolutely.
how is this whole move to eliminate DEI specifically in education, and you probably ancillary to people's education? Um, how does that impact your ability to be able to raise the necessary funds?
So there can be some impact there. But I have to say, the overwhelming support that we receive at UNCF, um, we are humbled by the support that we receive. Many assume that we take different government assisted funds to continue to provide the scholarships that UNCF does. And we do not. UNCF actually does not take any state or federal funds. Every year, the monies that are raised come from companies, corporations, individual donors to the tune of $70+ million that goes towards those scholarships that we actually divvy out every year. 65 million of those dollars roughly every year are awarded in scholarships every single year and support for students. So absolutely, there has been an impact. We see it and we feel it around some of our constituents, but sometimes when we have those moments that seem almost the most jarring and tragic is where it actually shows the character that we individually have and what we want to support. There are people who have just determined that this is what I would like to support. I want to support students, and they do that. So, as much as we kind of feared where that impact would take us, um, we're still going strong. So, we're super excited for that. And again, we could not thrive or survive without the support that we receive from donors every single year.
Do the scholarships cover more than the cost of tuition?
So there are programs that we have provided that do cover and help students for a little bit more than a tuition. There is an incredible program that we came up that we call it ESA. I like when we called it CISA, but ESA. And it is the Emergency Student Assistant Program. And it is an amazing program that actually helps students with those needs that we know can arise, and can actually hinder an excellent student's ability to continue and thrive and finish in school. Let's say you have an issue back home and you are well away from home. Perhaps your family does not have the ability to help you to get back and forth for an issue of bereavement or even sickness at your home. What do? Well, we actually do have every month distributions for things just like that. Let's just say that a student is actually getting a great scholarship. There's a little bit of a gap between, being completely taken care of and totally thriving. And of course, all of us who've gone to school, even if things were taken care of, there's still that gap where money is needed. Let's say that you have students who have food insecurity. As a college student, we all were eating ramen noodles because we have food insecurity. But then there are those who have a little bit more than that. And sometimes they don't know how to say, what to say, or when to say. We have programs available for that. Let's just say there's a gap between what your actual, that boarding part of the room and board part. There is a gap in there. And then there is opportunities to help there. There are a number of different housing insecurity. You'd be surprised how many students do have issues with housing. Maybe tuition is covered, but perhaps housing is not. So there are a number of programs that particular campaign does provide to students, and it is amazing. We also have student professional development programs as well, which I'm super proud of. I've had an opportunity to see that grow, where you get to see them form these wonderful lumps of clay into these excellent professionals. Love to see it. And getting them ready for the corporate world and the treks that they're going down. So we have those actual opportunities as well, and even internships. So we are actually expanding beyond just scholarships and just support to what we thought were just our member institutions, though we still do have our member institutions, but there's a lot of support for students outside of that.
Um, there is, I think, the need for education has always been great, but I really think today the need for education, and certainly educating, in this instance, descendants of enslaved Africans. So it becomes really important the work that you do around this and these fundraisers that you have. So if people are interested in attending,
The ball? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As the mayor has mentioned, it is the big ticket in town. I'm super, super excited about being the big ticket in town. Um, we are just humbled at the response that has come about as we have forged and moved forward and attempting to be as involved as we possibly can in the wonderful educational thread in this community. And so we're super excited about folks wanting to be there. Absolutely. And we can't wait to have them.
Yeah, and if folks have particular questions about tickets and anything like that, they can visit our website. It's mkeuncf.info. And we'll be able to get information out to folks that way. They can always contact our office or reach out to UNCF in order to find out more information. But again, it's been the past couple of years, literally the hottest ticket in town, packed room, and with reason. When folks get the opportunity to see and talk to the young people from Milwaukee, these really, really impressive students from Milwaukee Public Schools who are going off to historically Black colleges and universities, other universities as well, getting their education. And the encouragement of me and their family, I'm sure as well, is to come back and then help to uplift this community, building out that sort of environment, that sort of ecosystem that then will pour more resources into future students and things like that. It is really, really an incredible sight to see. So I encourage folks to come on down and join us.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
When asked who was going to be on my program today, I said, Mayor Johnson. Mm-hmm. And someone said, can you ask the mayor a question? So if I may just borrow him just for a moment and do a little city business. We see what's going on in Minneapolis, other parts, but certainly Minneapolis, and now I think Maine. And there are programs that serve people who are either refugee status, other things. How's the city going to respond if there is a movement of ICE or heightened ICE enforcement in the city?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and something that has been on the mind of a lot of people here in the city ever since, the terrible killing of Renee Good in the Twin Cities last week. I mean, my schedule's been inundated with phone calls and conversations around that exact question. And so I can assure you that between meetings and conversations I've had with the police department, with our partners from Milwaukee County, attorneys at both the city, the county, our community partners, be it for Latino, Voices de la Frontera, and the like, we're planning for contingencies if that were to be the case. That's if that were to be the case. I think there are a lot of people who say that it's an inevitability, it's an eventuality. I say it's a possibility, not an eventuality. So I think it's important for us to plan for those things. And it's something that I take very, very seriously. And as I told a state representative that I had the chance to speak with just the other day, like, this is personal to me, right? As a citizen, it's personal to me. As somebody who fell in love with service in this country, and to see federal agents, march into an American city and do these terrible things that ICE agents are doing, up and including killing a citizen, and what seem to be clear violations of people's Fourth Amendment rights. It's chilling. That's not something that we should see in the United States. And so we are planning around this. I think in the law enforcement space, folks will like to say, like, oh, will we have the police having an armed confrontation with ICE? A number of people have asked me that. I think we're unlikely to see that. I think what is happening in the Twin Cities and in Minnesota is probably the right course of action on this, where the governor and the mayor have encouraged people to be calm, to exercise their First Amendment rights, to make sure that they document these sort of encounters that folks are having with immigration and customs agents, so that you can create an archive and then turn around and be able to have that for suits when that time is appropriate. They're also using the legal process as well, which I think is appropriate in this matter too.
Has an advisory gone out to staff who specifically work with what could be targeted communities? Because there's obviously a heightened level of anxiety and fear and certainly people working with them not knowing what they can. So is that some of the things that you're considering?
Yes, yeah, it is. And again, our partners on the ground, these nonprofit organizations, be it for Latino Voices de la Frontera, they've been really great resources and assets for folks on the ground, getting out toolkits to businesses and folks who have communities that may be impacted this way, letting them know about what their rights are and what some opportunities may be for them to make sure that they're protecting not just their employees, but also their customers, their patrons, who may be targeted in, a possibility that there be a heightened ICE presence in Milwaukee.
And I'm sorry for just for that moment, but to have that opportunity,
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a certain level of anxiety that people are feeling, and I just wanted to know, and I know the community kind of wanted to know how the city is going to address this issue. If it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So again, people want tickets. Is tickets still available?
Absolutely.
Where can they go?
We are able to make that room, as the mayor has mentioned. If you go to mkeuncf.info, you will find information about what we have done, what's going on, and how to get tickets and sponsorship. Again, we will make room for you. So there are still tickets available, and we have overwhelming response. I know that, I don't know if anybody else has felt this. Has anybody kind of wondered, is there somebody stealing time? You just look up and it's just time is just, it's run away from you. I am convinced somebody is actually stealing it. We got to that wonderful push towards the year end, and now we're sliding and running. And so people are now really picking up all of the information that we have shared with them. And for this particular time, I think every year, for the most part, for the 11 years we've had this event, it has been in March. And I think this is the first year we have had it in February. So it's a little bit, we're pushing people just a little bit to come up a little earlier with us. So it was a little bit of a change. So as folks are getting the information around the change, they're like, oh, absolutely, count us in. So we're super, super excited. But yes, there's plenty good room.
Yeah, and it's Black History Month.
Absolutely.
Correct, right.
You get to
So
kick it off.
again, the United Negro College Fund Milwaukee's Mayor's Mask Ball will be Saturday, February the 7th. It begins at 6 p.m. It'll be held at the Pfister Hotel, 425 East Wisconsin Avenue. Begins at 6. Of course, it's hosted by our own mayor. And as they pointed out, over the past 10 years, they've raised $1.6 million to support students here in Milwaukee as they go on in terms of higher education. So again, let me thank Latina Brooks.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me thank Mayor Cavalier Johnson. Hopefully we can come back.
Happy to, man.
All right. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. I did get yelled at, but I'll survive. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. No, that's real fear, and there are programs here that work with refugee populations,
Yeah.
and they're really anxious. Um, my wife was saying that they were doing immunizations, and some people weren't even showing up for the immunizations because of fear
Yeah.
of that. So, and I'm glad. And so again, let me thank Ms. Brooks for allowing me to ask the mayor that question. But he was here. He's the mayor.
So, question. So, like, is there anything that we can do about this ICE situation?
I think, like I said, it reminds me when I was a kid in the '60s, and the government was being used to support the status quo to push back. And it started with a lot of us, and that's why I say it all the time. You have to be careful of how you talk about a problem, because people will use your words
Yeah, against you.
as fuel to do negative things, as you said, against you. So we need to be careful. First of all, with the exception of indigenous people, all of us came from someplace else, right? All of us came from someplace else. Um, and the fact that we will, that's why I say you have to be careful how you talk about things, because, and look, and a lot of it is a, if I don't know if I can use this as an adjective, um, that you can be innocently ignorant.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that what I'm saying is that sometimes we're not aware of other people's cultures, of other people's struggles, right? And I always push back on it when we, as descendants of enslaved Africans, want to say that we were the worst treated people in history. That's not true. It's not true. And that whole comparison, my pain is worse than somebody else's pain. Pain is pain, right? Pain is pain. And I think that I was listening to when the sister called in, and she was saying that she was watching this thing, and the parents had said to the kids, don't read the Bible because the Bible is confusing. It can't be. I mean, there is, if you read it cover to cover, without any kind of context to what you're reading, it can be confusing. How can a God of justice and vengeance and pain, and the same God that destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, is a God of grace and mercy in the New Testament? For some people, that would be a contradiction. I think the other thing which frustrates me with black folks is that for some folks, if it ain't in the Bible, then I'm not going, what was in the Bible? There's a whole lot of stuff we do that ain't in the Bible. Okay? Whole lot of stuff that ain't in the Bible. And, this is a little bit part of my message on Sunday. We can twist scriptures to justify negative, sinful behavior. I mean, we can do it. And I think that that's what you're seeing now, because they said one of the conflicts that they're allegedly having in the Southern Baptist Convention, as it relates to what people are seeing ICE doing. And look, for most people, it feels like ICE is really going too far. But they're the people there who have a natural inclination, just a reflex, to trust police no matter what. And that there's a danger in absolutes, right? There's a danger in living in absolutes, because the world is not black and white. Now, there's some people who like to believe they live in a black and white world, but you don't. And so now the question becomes, what do you extract if you're using scripture? If you're using scripture, then to rationalize and explain your actions, then what are you using, right? The Jesus that I read about was one who talked about our concern and passion for marginalized people, for those people who are in need, that should be our thing. But we done turned it into salvation. We done turned it into theater and entertainment. It's a whole lot of things that we've turned it into. It was because yesterday in some of the comments that people were making, because I do listen, they were saying like, well, he's a man of God. How could he work for ICE? You know, I mean, that because sometimes, and again, not knowing what he preached in his pulpit on Sundays, sometimes we're just contradictions, man. I mean, I don't know how to explain it other than, you know, I can feel this way about this, and you would think that there would be this whole thing, but then there's a departure from me feeling this way about this, and then this situation. I don't know if we should handle each situation as in its own kind of situation. If I've been repetitive, its own situation that you should. It's like if Jermaine has had 4 disciplinary hearings, should I assume that when another allegation is made that Jermaine did it? Because he might not have. But if I'm still locked into, well, he did the other 4, that means he must have did this. That's why I say there's a danger in us judging people, because you don't always have, or I don't always have, the benefits of the facts. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, Keith.
Good morning.
Man, one of the things that I equate ICE with the KKK. I'll tell you why. I didn't see an actual live KKK person in a demonstration until 1980, and it was outside the hotel I was staying in Ohio, Middletown, Ohio. And I never thought, but then I'm looking at these guys, the only thing they don't have on is the pointed hats, and they don't have all white, but they wear masks, they don't identify themselves. The same way the Ku Klux Klan, when they went and got Emmett Till, or all the things they did, or when they shot Medgar Evers in the they didn't show who they were, but they know who they were. They know who the power was. So I equate ICE with the KKK, a modern day version of the KKK, who have just been given power. Because I know they're hiring everybody who just shows up. Their qualifications don't meet what would normally happen for an agent of the FBI or a policeman. But the ICE to me is just an evil component of the government, which is to take care of minorities and other people of color that they are now deporting at record rates. Even they have no criminal records, they have no violations. They've deported a whole family who was all American citizens. So,
but see,
I just think they're equivalent to the KKK to me.
When we don't see people's humanity, then it can justify aberrant behavior, and I think that's what you see when we start talking about others. When you vilify people, they're drug dealers. They were released from insane. You're hearing all of this, and after a while, if you're not cleaning that filter out, it gets through, and it becomes part of your subconscious. Oh, okay, that's why it says Black people need to be careful, because you're not the only ones in this country suffering. And if you want to sit up and make it sound like we're the only ones that are suffering, we really should be about us. There's a danger in that, because people are suffering. And I know people go in, well, more Black people were lynched than Hispanic people. Hispanic people were lynched.
Yeah, but don't you
go to Texas and ask how they were living in Texas?
Yeah, but don't you think that we suffered the most?
No,
I don't even. I know that's relative. What I've seen in history, we were in America, we were treated worse. I mean, when the Irish came over, they were discriminated against. All kind of people were, but nobody had sundown towns but us. Nobody had. You couldn't learn to read and write. You were sold like you were a bag of chips. Some of your family was split up legally. All of the things that happened legally, there was no other group except the Chinese when they made the Exclusion Act.
So that's but that's why I just said, don't you think that we were the ones that was treated the worst?
No, I think there were other people treated worse. We only can go by the context of what I know about my people.
Right.
That's all I just say.
Right.
I mean,
and the other thing is that you have to think about is that they're rewriting history in front of us. What he said we treated white people badly. Well, hell, some white people blew up a church with some kids, or they shot mega. Did anybody remember when they put the gasoline around the church in Montgomery, and they were going to set it on fire with Martin Luther King and the rally that was going on in the church?
Yeah, Brown's Chapel.
Yeah, and so we start talking about cruelty. It was, we had our own cruelty, but other people had their cruelties too. So I will never minimize the pain of somebody else just to make my pain be better.
Can I ask you a question?
It was across the board.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Real quick. What race of people was stolen, brought over here, and forced to work for free in the cotton field and beaten? Other than us?
We weren't taken just here. We were taken to South America.
What group of people
more
lost 6 million people in less than 7 years?
Yeah, on the Middle Passage, when people were tossed off of ships or jumped off the ships into the Atlantic Ocean, or went to, the ships went to Cuba first, then they went to other islands, then they went to Brazil. There's a whole contingent of Africans in Brazil. There was more dropped off there than there was to America.
I get it, but what I'm saying is,
we had our suffering, but I can't go back to know what happened before the 1500s. But there was cruelty in the world. We weren't the first.
What about the Dalit people in India? I'm going to tell you. And look, America, that history, we lived that history. And I think part of it is there has been no redress. It doesn't seem like there has been any kind of recompense for the suffering of Africans in the New World. I never get to the
act
point.
Like it didn't happen.
Right. But I don't want to act like other people didn't happen. I don't want to act like Wounded Knee didn't happen. Right.
Right.
I don't. I know
the Trail of Tears. What they did to the Native Americans. I know that they did those things to people that were way farther, as worse than anything we felt. Right. But that was because of the inhumanity to humanity.
Right. So I'm just saying, but that becomes part of the thing that can be in a way of, Chairman Fred Hampton had figured it out. Dr. King had figured it out later in life. That there were people when Dr. King talked about the Poor People's Campaign,
yeah,
and the people that he mentioned to be part of that coalition was obviously descendants of enslaved Africans. He talked about Latinos. He talked about indigenous people, and then he talked about Appalachian whites.
Right. Oh, yeah, that pissed them off.
Yeah, and because the sense is, and see, we live in, and that's by design. See, when people tell you that information doesn't matter and it's not important for you to educate yourself, there's a reason for that, because your ignorance can be exploited
and controlled.
Right.
That means I'm in charge of your mind, and it's your mind.
Right.
I'm in charge of it. So I tell you what to think, what to say, how to feel, and you follow my orders, as did Jim Jones when he gave them people that the sweet drink or the Kool-Aid. All of those things are part of the control of you. And just like when they took black folks' families and split them up, your sister was born, but she got sold to another plantation. And after the end of slavery, people went looking for their families because all their people had been scattered for money. They sold, boys had a price, girls had a price. And so all of those things were not fair.
There's a term that they use for enslavement in the Western Hemisphere that's really unique: chattel slavery. You had never heard that term used to apply to slavery. And slavery has been going on as long as we've had nations. People conquer other people. They enslave the people that they conquer, right? That has been going on. Nothing, though. Nothing. And then if I'm doing this, like, make it the worst, because, being a slave in the Roman Empire was no picnic, right?
No.
I mean, so I think, I agree. I think when we say we had it the worst, I think that's relative. We had it bad, but other people did too.
Yeah, and we were, and I can't claim all of the other groups who were bred like you breed dogs and all like that. But we were bred after 1808 when they couldn't bring in slaves anymore. They started breeding. There was more for a girl. There was more for a boy.
That's going to be a natural consequence anyway. You know what I mean? I mean, if you have two human beings there, there were kids being conceived during the Gaza war, right? What I'm saying is that human beings, one of the things we're going to do is procreate. Now, if they're saying that, now you sound like Jimmy the Greek, when he was sitting up trying to explain anthropology and he just flubbed it, where, you take a big buck and you, okay. I mean, look, if you really want to talk about breeding, think about it. In many societies, if you had a girl, that was a failure. Societies value having boys. That was the issue in China. Remember, they went to 2 kids? And, if I get 2 girls, I'm going to try again because I want a boy, right? So we've always had that as a part of, what do they call it, human ancestry.
But the only thing in America, they took the girls and made them concubines so they could produce more children.
But every society that's had slaves would be able to, and again, what they did in America was based on something that people had, it was where you came from. That was your ethnicity. We create this construct called race, right? That construct then dehumanizes people of African descent. And so now when you dehumanize a person, you can justify, as I said, I'll use the word again, aberrant, negative, inhuman behavior because you don't consider them human.
Human, right. I agree.
And then I think the other piece was, I don't know how many people had the chance to go up to Milton, to go to the place. There's the Underground Railroad, the stop on the Underground Railroad. But right across the street from the inn is a church. It is, I never heard of this group before. It was the Seventh-day Baptist Church. And so the guy was explaining to us, the thing about the movement of Baptists were the Baptists they were anti, the papacy, they took Protestant to a whole different level. There is no hierarchy in the Baptist church. These folks, and I want to say they probably of Scandinavian descent, were anti-slavery, virulently anti-slavery, but they were still white supremacists.
Yeah. Well, when there's a place in Memphis called Slave Haven. It was a German farmer's place where he hid slaves as they moved up the Mississippi on the Underground Railroad. And it was weird. You go down in there, you can see how they stored them, or they hid them underneath the floor and in all kind of spaces in the building. So you had all kinds of manifestations of what it was that slavery was. But many of them were unique to America because that's what we know. But I think, like you said, the inhumanity to humanity is period across the board.
I would suggest people read Isabel Wilkerson's book Caste and talk about how, since we've had organized societies, that there have been caste systems, gradations, and what they did. Look, the power, and I want people to understand this. Even though we have an emotional response to racism is about the dollars and cents, y'all. It's about dollars and cents. People making money because of racism.
Gandhi did to them. Gandhi did to the British because they were doing the same thing. And I remember in the 90s when I went to South Africa with the group we were with, they had 9 languages. They had 9 groups. They classified them by the color of their skin. And then they separate them. You had to have a pass to get from one section to the other. And that was in the 19th century to see what people would do to people. So you're right. It could be manifested in a number of ways, but it's still inhumanity to humanity.
But let's not miss the materialism that's attached to it. You know,
yeah, it was money.
like, you know, we sit up here thinking, well, you always have, you know, antipathy towards other groups. That those rivalries are there. There's a profit. There's a profit rationalization for enslavement, right? People made money, and people are making money now from segregation. People make money.
Apartheid made money.
Yeah, I mean, and the status quo, and that's what gets us back to the 60s, because in the 60s, people were pushing against the status quo. They were pushing against this idea that you can subjugate a people based on what they look like. They pushed back against the idea that you can subjugate a group of people because of who they love. They pushed back on the idea that women should not have control over their bodies. That was the status quo. And, you know, we're kind of reverting back to that. When they say make America great again, what they're talking about is a period where it was obvious who were the superior group in the country.
Who had status,
right?
Who had power and who had the money. And yes, it was definitely right. And they want to go back to that. And they want to have that control again, because he makes this argument that we need to be, that was the greatest time in America. Yeah, well, you in control of everything.
Well, and again, greatness is relative. I would say, you know, certainly post-World War II, America emerges as one of the two superpowers in the world, right? There, in terms of technology, innovation, it was America. Okay, but at the same time, America was dealing with their issues. And look, did America flounder because it was more inclusive? No, that wasn't the case. Here's the other thing that's happening out here. You have white male insecurity. A lot of this is driving it. White male insecurity. Look, they're dealing with issues where there are more women in college than men. White women are now becoming better educated than white men. So who are they sitting up talking about? When EEOC did a promotion encouraging people to come in and to file discrimination suits, they were very particular. They talked about white males, as if white males are being discriminated against in this country. No, there's this idea that it doesn't really matter. We don't need to share it with folks, which then makes me wonder, then how Christian is America?
And Keith, from my professional standpoint, you know, when I was in architecture, engineering, and even in the trades, I watched these people feel like, why are you here? Why do you have this job? I remember a guy, I got a job or a promotion at my job, and this guy put a black rose on my desk.
Well, let me ask this question, Tyrone. Did you get the job? Did you get the job because you replaced some white dude when you got the job?
No, in fact, I told him, I said, if you don't think I should have that job, you go tell them. But I ain't gonna deny what I've been earned.
So here's the piece. So you got the job, and obviously there were jobs there. You got the job because you had to be qualified. Here's the thing about affirmative action that people kind of miss. Yeah, there might be some things we'll give you, and I used to be a college recruiter, so I understand that there's some variables that go into a child's education, right? Those things need to be considered. But once I get in school, there is no affirmative action when it comes to your chemistry class. Either you perform in chemistry or you don't.
Math class, yep.
So
totally
people who get in under affirmative action, once you're in, you're under the same qualifications as everybody else in the school.
Mm-hmm.
That little point is always missed.
Amen. I mean,
so when and then, you know, it turns into, but here's the other thing about how they marginalize us. And I was pointing this out. I worked in government, man, all of my adult life. So I understand how governments work. Let me show you one of the things that I noticed. This is anecdotal. This is key. You go into an organization. It's a big organization. So we need to divide it up, right? So we need to divide it up as it relates to who manages personnel and then who manages all of the contracts, the revenue, the finances. 9 times out of 10, Black folks are going to be managing personnel. White folks are going to be controlling the finances.
All the others, yes.
I think, you know, and then for some, not all, but for some of us, you know, when you go and you look like, No disrespect for people in this line of work, but they will tell you that if you ever want to move up in a corporation, you don't want to work for human resources. Right? Because so then what happened was, instead of saying, you know what, Tyrone would be great here in strategic planning. No, we're not going to have Tyrone in strategic planning. That's not a job that Black people can do. So what we'll do is, but we will have them do minority outreach. And not to say the minority outreach is not important, but the amount of power one has who controls the purse strings is very different. Here's the other thing about managing personnel. You can't control personnel, right? If you're a manager, you're always in a reactive situation because I don't know what that human being is going to do when he or she gets to work that day. So it's more difficult because now you have to deal with issues. You also have to deal with performance of staff. The person over here dealing with the money, and again, it's where the money is. Cash rules everything around me, right? So think about it. Look at the positions that sometimes Black people get, and you go, well, look, hey man, they paying me 6 figures. I'm cool, but I'm saying it's like if you want to be a football coach, all right. Where are most of the Black coordinators in the NFL? Defense or offense?
Defense.
So why you put me on defense? Why? Because offense is considered more intricate, right? More involved.
Yeah.
So why not then make me the offensive coordinator? Because chances are my chances of getting a job as a coach are greater if I'm an offensive coordinator as opposed to me being a defensive coordinator.
And I can give you a
conspiracy with
definite example of that. That when I worked for the county, when I got hired at the county as public works director, the supervisors were so unsure of me being the leader of the public works department. They came to my staff meetings for the first 6 months. They watched everything I did, how money was being spent, all the actions I made for 6 months, just to make sure that I should be there. So I understand, but they wasn't doing me in because I knew what I was doing.
All right, appreciate you, man.
Okay, you're welcome. Take care, y'all.
Yeah, I gotta get up out. I got one more. All right, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hello, Keith.
Hey, Angela.
How are you?
I'm good.
I have a question for the mayor.
He's gone. And I got yelled at for asking that one question. So, all right.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm good.
Oh, he wasn't taking questions? He was just there to just say his piece and leave?
No, we're good.
No, we're not, because he's gone. You can't answer the question.
Okay. Well, he said he's coming back.
Oh, today?
No, not today.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So, hold on. I may have something for you. But I don't. Take care.
All right. Yeah, y'all didn't see me roll my eyes.
She think you Jermaine the way she handling you.
See, there you go. Over there, I've been trying to spare you.
Don't take the bait.
I haven't even been in
Why
here,
you shaped
man.
like a wisdom too.
I haven't even been in here, so
don't take
haven't been
the bait,
sparing
bro.
me.
Oh no, man, I've been sparing you.
No, well then continue to do that, brother.
You ain't got to be in here for me to spare you. I could do it behind your back.
He can't control himself.
I can't. But once I get into it, I get to going.
Ms. Latina Brooks. Let me thank the Honorable Mayor Cavalier Johnson. Callers, we thank you. Debo, thank you. Clark, thank you. Jermaine, thank you. Did I thank the callers?
Thank Angie.
Angie, thank you. Good Lord, will the creek don't rise. I'm gonna be up in this joint tomorrow. I know it's gonna be cold. The good Lord willing, and the car starts. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And as always, go for this place in peace.
Premeditated headache.
Yeah, there you go.